In a maths class, students are asked to pick an odd number, say n, less than 6. So students are asked to pick odd numbers less than 6. Odd number less than 6 are 1, 3 and 5, only 3 numbers, and write it on the board. Then they are asked to perform the following operation. They have to perform these operations. First operation is, if n is a perfect square, find its positive square root, write it on the board. If it is not a perfect square, then perform these functions. Okay, so let's say n can take value 1. I have to pick numbers which are odd and less than 6. So n is 1, n is 3 and n can be 5. So I have written 1 on the board, number 1. Now I have to check if n is a perfect square. So is it a perfect square? Yes. Is it 1 is a perfect square? So what I have to do is find its positive square root and write it on the board. So I am finding the positive square root of 1, which is 1, and I have written this number on the board. Now I have picked number 3, second odd number less than 6. So is it a positive perfect square? No, it is not a perfect square. So I have to perform these operations now. Add n to the number, n which is 3. So I am adding n to the number and it becomes 6. Now I have to first write the number on the board. So I have written number 6 on the board. Then if the new number is a perfect square, find its positive square root, write it on the board. So is it a perfect square? I have to ask, is it a perfect square? No, it is not a perfect square. If it is not a perfect square, repeat the process from 2a. So I have to repeat these processes from second. If it is not a perfect square, add n to the number. So I have to again add n to the number. So I have added 3 to the number and I got 9. Write the number on the board. So I have written 9 on the board. Now, is it a perfect square? Yes, it is a perfect square. In the case number is a perfect square, what I have to do is find its positive square root and write it on the board. So the positive square root of 9 is 3. So I have written 3 on the board. Now at any point, if the same set of number is repeating, the student can stop the operation. So from here onwards, number will be repeating. I have to add 3, then I have to add 3, and then numbers will be repeating. So in this case, numbers written on the board are 3, 6 and 9. From here, numbers written on the board are 1 only. Now third case, when n is 5, so is it a perfect square? No, it is not a perfect square. So what I have to do is add n to the number. What do I get? 10. Is it a perfect square? No, it is not a perfect square. Then add to the number. And I am writing all these numbers on the board. So 15. Is it a perfect square? Again, it is not a perfect square. So what I have to do is I am adding n to the number. What do I get? 20. Again, it is not a perfect square. Again, adding n to the number. What would I get? 25, which is a perfect square. So now I have to do is finding the positive square root of 25, which is 5, and from here onwards number will repeat. So in this case, numbers written on the board are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now I have to find the average of all the unique numbers obtained by the children. So average of these numbers. So I have to add all these numbers. What is the sum of these all numbers? 45, 60, 70, 75, 85 and 9, 94. Sum is 94. And how many numbers are there? 3, 1, 4, 4 or 3, 7 and 2, 9. So 94 by 9 is the average of all such unique numbers. Option C. So the correct answer is option